couple months ago, first month that I was doing videos, I shot a video about let's talk about AI and what AI does for or against us as YouTube creators. I'm walking that back. I'm walking those concerns back, and I'm looking at things quite a bit differently. Now, I read your comments, and a lot of people were for and against AI. The majority were for, and they were giving me some very good pointers. You know, let loose of the old ways. I'm a 55-year-old man. I'm 4 months into YouTube creations, 20-some videos, and on my 8th video, I say, let's talk about it, and I built some pretty serious assumptions and concerns about AI, artificial intelligence. So I'm here to correct the record. Since then, you know, watching a lot of YouTube creators giving pointers and trying to understand how to hasten my activities when it comes to creating a video, doing research for that video, coming up with ideas for that video. I mean, I'm still pretty new, so I have lots of ideas and lots of things I want to do to get in front of each and every one of you. But I was wrong. You know, I was completely wrong. You know, even though I'm a retired Marine and I don't have a day-to-day job minus watching grandkids and doing honeydews around the house for the wife, I guess I had a lot of fears like a lot of us middle-aged people have. Yeah, I'm not a techie guy. Yeah, I was a ground pounder, man. I shot guns for a living. And even though I do some things online and have for a number of years and have supports that I go to that are online, I guess AI in my world, I didn't think it was important, and I was wrong. Yeah, completely wrong. You know, since then, I use 1 of 10 to make my thumbnails. You know, it's a little costly, and yeah, I don't make any money at this. It's not the whole intent for me to do YouTube creations. I use Nexus Clips to make my shorts. Now, up until a few days ago, I was running a separate Spanky Produces Clips and Spanky Produces as my long form. And I just wasn't, you know, I was getting a ton of views on shorts, which I understand at this point, and I don't get as many views and many comments on my longs. And my longs are anywhere from 8 minutes to, I think my longest one's maybe 16 or 17 minutes. Yeah, I did a little ranting. I'm learning to better that. But, you know, back at the topic on hand, artificial intelligence, AI. So 1 of 10, Nexus Clips. I downloaded the free Claude. And I tell you what, I did that maybe a month ago. One of the best decisions I've made to speed up the process. Now, obviously, I'm not going to, you know, print out a complete script and just read it word for word. This is my method of communicating with you. You know, a talking head video. Well, and I enjoy it better. You know, I enjoy getting through there, and I can look at some of those first couple of videos, and I can see where I was trying to look up or look over or didn't have my angle down right on what I should do, and not only look at my notes, but catching myself reading verbatim, you know, almost everything. And I'm thinking back, I'm like, why? I don't need to do that. You know, the whole point of getting here, there should be no stress. You know, I do put stress on myself. Yeah, I went like a week and a half without shooting a video because we were wicked busy with kids. And I was beating myself up. And then I watched a video by this gentleman, Mike, you know, Old Man Living. And he was like, man, you know, have fun. Have fun with your videos. And that resonated with me a couple of days ago. And that's why I thought about doing this. The wife, daughter, 2 of the grandkids just left to go do the first meet the teacher for 2nd grade for a video I just posted yesterday for one of the granddaughters, Mia. So I'm like, I got a little bit. I'm getting ready to leave for Bible study. Going to go meet the guys in our veterans group. And I'm like, you know what? I got enough time. I'm going to shoot this video. No distraction. Dogs are outside. Everyone's out of the house. It's quiet. And I can make an apology. So Claude, back on topic. See, I ran a little bit. Claude has been amazing to me. And I am contemplating going ahead and upgrading and paying for this service because I'm amazed on how fast it speeds it up. Now, like on my phone, I've got, like a pilot app for AI. I've used Grok with my X account to just have a little bit of fun trying to learn what everybody else is doing. I'm not very good at it, and I don't spend a lot of time trying to create over there. Neither one of these platforms is really designed for me to desire to make a living. If it pays back all the money I spend for all this stuff I get, okay, cool. But if it doesn't, I just want to get this out there. And AI is helping me more than I ever imagined. So once again, wrong. I was wrong. Because when I would sit down the first couple times and everything that I was watching on YouTube videos and taking all the advice from all these big creators that do amazing at this and make a buttload of money, I noticed I was getting wrapped around the axle. I was getting so anal retentive on information. I was going a little bit too much into the script. And I was really failing myself because I was doing what old man Mike said we shouldn't do. Stop having fun with it. The whole point why I would guess most creators quit. I guess the other part would be, hey, I don't get a lot of views, don't get a lot of comments. Why am I going to waste all this time? Well, for me, I don't think it's a waste of time. I actually am enjoying this. It's fun doing the research. It makes my brain use a little bit, which at 55, I don't want to start diminishing in capabilities. But I get to share stuff with you. I get to reconnect. Some of the people that have subscribed to me are old Marine buddies, and that's so cool. But the AI factor is awesome, because if I want to proof check myself, I want to have a rough script made that I fine tune, I can do that. If I want to build a platform for how I want my future studio, if you want to call it that, I'm not going to call it that, but that's what most people would say, on proper light placement, proper backgrounds, because here pretty soon what you see behind me is going to go away because everybody tells me that's just too much busyness going on. Well, guess what? I'm working in the only room that I'm allocated for my beautiful wife to do whatever I want to do in it. Could I take this outside? Could I go down to the park, up the road a little bit and walk and do a walking video? I'll probably do one in the future, but right now, this is the easiest. It's the quickest, and I enjoy it. So AI gave me all the ideas I need for camera placement, lighting setup, backdrop spacing, camera spacing, because I'm probably a little too close. I've had other folks on the school channel that I follow with Mike that give me ideas and give me pointers, more importantly, on how I should work on my delivery, how I should work on improving improving what I'm trying to present. So lastly, man, if you don't use AI, and if by any chance you are a creator on here, start. I don't care what you pick, but honestly for me, I followed everybody else that was jumping on the Claude bandwagon. I actually really like it. It interacts well. It gives me feedback well. There's a few times on my mobile app laying in bed at night testing it. It's kind of did some wonky stuff that I called it on, and so there are flaws. Trust but verify. Okay, that's a leadership trait that we should have. Trust but verify. And I guess I'm not going to say Nexus Clips has to be used. I'm not going to say 1 of 10 has to be used. Those things cost a little bit of money, especially 1 of 10. But it speeds up my thumbnail process. Nexus Clips speeds up my short process, makes it simpler. AI, for the most part, in general, every bit of it, whatever platform you use it, utilizes it, makes things way faster. Now, I've watched a lot of videos on folks that talk about making a side hustle or businesses or something like that with it. That's indifferent to me. I don't know that, but I know for this library of information I'm throwing out there, for in the future. Not just for me to get in front of a camera and talk to you, but also for my kids in the future, my grandkids in the future, if they ever want to go back and say, you know, that was Pop, that was Dad, that's who he was. Yeah, I think that's pretty awesome. You know, this library of our life, sharing information. So that's about all I've got. You know, I talked for 10 minutes on something. I rambled quite a bit, and if you stayed this long, I appreciate it. But this is just I'm sorry video. This is I'm a wrong video. You go back and watch video 8, and I'll tag it in the back end of this up in one of the corners. It'll you'll see what I'm talking about. A lot of my confusion was just being naive, new at this. I'm still only 4 months in, and that was a couple months ago. So I'm learning every day, and yeah, I'd rather get this out of the way now. So if you did happen to be the few that watched that video, I'm sorry. I was wrong. For those that commented and kind of gave me pointers to move forward with it, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you'd like to, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. I'll have more leadership videos in the future, near future, I might add. And I appreciate you being here. If you made it all the way to this point, thank you very much. And if you got some out of this, like it. And definitely, please, comment. Let me know what you think and, you know, how you see it. And if you just want to call me out for saying, yo, jackass, you're wrong. Well, I'll agree and I'll say, gotcha. Thank you. So once again, appreciate you guys. Take care.